you a busy professional looking to diversify your portfolio? Ever wanted to passively invest in real estate but don't know where to start? John Fortes provides you with a guide to passively invest in real estate. This is the Passive Investor Show.
And now, the Passive Investor Show. Here's your host, John Fortes.
Hello, PI listeners. Thank you again for lending me your ear today. Welcome to the Passive Investor Show. I'm John Fortes. Our goal is to provide you with passive investing tips and tricks for your real estate investments. Let's get to work. Today, I want to talk about a question I commonly see and get asked, and it's something I felt compelled to address, right? So an investor comes up and says, hey, I have X amount of capital and I'm looking to explore it and invest it in real estate. What should I do? There's a bunch he can do. That's such a loaded question where then I start pushing back and saying, and we'll get through all these questions and that I like to ask them to see where they are, right? So we'll go with what's your knowledge about real estate? Is it, do you currently own a home? Is that the only asset you own? Do you know anything about fix or flipping? Have you done that in the past? Like, what is something that you have done in the past that in regards to real estate, right? So if the answer is, I've done a few flips, I've done a few, I got a few single family homes, or I got 1 3-family or a triplex. So it's all about what they actually have. So then I say, what do you want to get into? And they'll tell me what they the niche or the area where they want to focus on, and excuse me. So I'll push back and say, do you have any formal education on that? Do you know anything? There's tons of books out there that offer great value. There's tons of programs that people offer. Just do your investigation and your research on those, and then go ahead and dive in. But the books are probably the cheapest, right? So the books will be able to get you the knowledge that you're seeking and provide that content for you quickly. Then find a niche that interests you and just literally absorb as much as possible about it. The next question I push back on is I say, how much time do you have to commit to it? So this goes back to being active and passive, right? Are you looking to be active or are you looking to be passive? The active is buy, own, do all the work that goes with it. The passive is invest passively through syndications, hard money loans, or fix and flip that you work with fix and flippers, right? So that all ties into it, because at the end of the day, you don't want to create another job for yourself. That's why most busy professionals seek to invest passively. Right? So if you invest passively and you're still got your full-time job, you're able to just focus on that and move your capital in a direction that you want to, that you already gain some knowledge about, or have some sort of knowledge regarding that, that type of investment. What are your realistic goals for that capital, right? So you have to be real with it. You have to know what you want, and you have to have line that up with your long-term plan and see how it fits. That's just something that I personally throw in there, because you have to have a goal at the end of the day and see how everything intertwines and works with it. That's just personal, and I like to ask that just to see if they actually do have those long-term goals or visions, or Sometimes some people don't write them down. Some people do. Some people just have them in their thoughts. I just clearly write them down for myself. So it helps. It helps me. So I try to help other people find that lane and vision and try to marry the two. So then we'll get to the different types of passive and active investments if they are looking to be hands-on or more, hands-off approach. There's the crowdfunding sites, right? So you can go with the crowdfunding sites. There's a ton of those online, but the thing with those, they're high fee structures. You just want to be careful there, right? Then you got to determine what your risk tolerance is. And also you need to, do you need to have the capital immediately, or are you looking to turn it over through time? You got to figure out what you need, right? If you need access to that cash immediately, you got to remember, this isn't the stock market. This is real estate. When that money's in there, it's plugged in. It's hard to get it out, meaning, if something comes up, you're already pot committed with that investment. So just figure that capital gone for at least, or working for you. I don't want to say gone, working for you for at the minimum investment criteria, whether you're diving in with a fix and flipper for 6 months, or a syndication where it's 5 to 7 years, right? And then everything in between. And then if you got the long view, you can just know that capital is working for you and, sit back with the quarterly or monthly statements and payouts and just kind of rock and roll with those, right? So those are the two differences, and you need to figure out which one fits your criteria a little bit better. And then lastly, we'll get into the different types of options, right? So, the opportunity should be explored for our options you are considering. And, you got to figure out which one you want and then narrow it down. That's what basically that means, right? And then there's development. Development where from the ground up construction, if you're going to invest in those, then you got multifamily syndication. That's what my focus is. And, there's many ways to, vet a sponsor and find out more about multifamily syndications. We'll dive into those later. Then there's also house hacking, where if you're going to buy a 3-family, you're going to live in one of the floors and rent out the other 2 while renovating the unit or the apartment, right? So you can, just imagine living on the 3rd floor, renovating that and renting out the 2nd and the 1st floors. And then when the tenants move out on the 2nd floor, you've already renovated the 3rd floor. So go and rent that out, move into the 2nd floor, and then rinse and repeat until you're done. And then eventually move out into another asset. And that's basically house hacking on a kind of a, that's kind of on a more complex scale, right? So going from 3rd floor to 1st floor, or 1st floor to 2nd floor, do it with a duplex, or some people even do it with a single family. And then there's fix and flip, right? So you can go and find an asset, a piece of real estate, a single family that's, depreciated. Go ahead, fix it up, and add the value add appreciation to it, and then sell it. You're usually looking at about anywhere from 3 to 6 months. It could be longer, right? So some people know how to plow through those really quick, but don't expect to get through it unless you have an experienced partner with you on the first try, right? So that's basically all the questions I like to ask when someone tells me they have X amount of capital and they're looking to invest it in real estate. You need to have clear and concise goals. If you're looking for one niche as opposed to another niche, just make sure you know what you're dealing with each one, right? So it's like the stock market, right? You invest in companies, and probably your favorite companies. You're not just gonna, you're gonna know a little bit about them. You're not just gonna go and just, throw throw a dart at the board and say, all right, I'll use that. Boom, buy those shares. You want to know a little bit about something before you do something. You want to feel good about it while you're doing it. And I'll leave it there. And till next time, man, I appreciate you guys tuning in and supporting. Appreciate you guys and have a great one.